Hi, Scott Marr, UAlbany men's lacrosse head coach, joins us as always on the Monday show, and the disappointment from yesterday, losing to Maryland 18-9 in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament, that certainly does not take away from another phenomenal season by the Great Danes under Scott Marr, and he joins us here for a few minutes to look back at the Maryland game and then look ahead to, I'm sure, what will be a promising season for next year as well. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Roger, how you doing?
Good. Appreciate a few minutes, man. Sorry for the loss. A tough one, I know that it was. You've had a little bit of time now to think about it. What was different from the first time that you played them here in mid-March, and a tough game you lost by 1 goal, to what happened yesterday?
I think for one, they were on their game. Senior laden team, team that's been in the finals the last couple of years. They played very well, and give them a lot of credit for how they played. But unfortunately, we just didn't have the same juice we had the first time. Face-offs were different, and JD struggled in the goal to see the ball defensively. We gave up some pretty good shots for them. Good looks at the goal. So we just unfortunately just didn't have our best game. Unfortunately, we picked a bad day to have a tough day. But my kids played hard all year. It happens. It just was one of those days.
Scott, is it? And I've seen this happen to teams that, all year you've gotten off to really good starts. You've had the lead. Sometimes if somebody, hits you pretty good like Maryland did, it stuns you a little bit. And it's tough to get back because I don't think you've been in that spot before this season, right? Having to play catch up so early in a game.
Yeah, I don't believe so either, Roger. We had a couple possessions in the first quarter. We just didn't play great offense. For whatever reason, we were just kind of a half a step off. I don't know if we were just a little tight, a little nervous for the setting. I'm not sure. Like I said, we just kind of, about a half a step off, and we just didn't execute real well on offense. And then all of a sudden we got into a hole, and they continued to score. And again, the face-offs were a little bit in their favor, so they were able to get on a run kind of in that end of the first quarter and through the first half, and again, 2-2, and we get a great opportunity, and the kid gets hit. We hit the kid in the foot, goes right to one of their defenders, goes down in a fast break, and they score. And so it was kind of that day. Everything kind of bounced for them, and very similar to how our game went the week before against North Carolina. Everything went our way in the first half, and yesterday pretty much everything went Maryland's way.
Scott, Chris Honorato here as well. You'll hear the narrative. I'm sure you've heard it, that this team can't get to the Final Four, and it's a new group of kids every year. So when you hear something like that, what does it make you think?
It makes me think that we're in a position to go to a Final Four, which there was probably 68 other teams out there would have liked to be in that position. So. Again, we talk about our certainty being greater than everybody else's doubt. And there's a lot of people that doubt people out there. But, our group stuck together and played hard. And you know what? We were only one of 8 teams that were playing this past weekend. So a lot of people that would have loved to have been 15-3 and playing in a quarterfinal and had an opportunity to play the defending national champions in their backyard. And again, we're just very proud of our kids and what we did. Unfortunately, yesterday just wasn't our day. And, again, those things happen, and that's why we play sports, and we learned some life lessons from it. And my kids didn't quit. We played throughout the whole game. We got to 9 goals, and, we didn't stop playing. So that's what we encouraged them to do during the game. And, they gave it everything they had. It just, like I said, just was one of those days. Sometimes you just run into a better team. Yep. And honestly, Maryland was a better team than us yesterday. A very big and strong athletic team that's on a mission as well. They've been in the Final Four the last 3 years as a senior class. It's their 4th trip to a Final Four. That's a pretty good team on the other side yesterday. So again, you have to give credit where credit's due sometimes, and just say to yourselves, hey, it just wasn't our day, and we'll get back on the horse today and start a new season for 2018.
Time with Scott Marr, UAlbany men's lacrosse, as we wrap up just a tremendous season again for the Great Danes, but they did lose to Maryland yesterday in Delaware. As I continue to learn about this sport, Scott, I know now how darn important that face-off is, and I did hear T.D. Erlin say that his matchup yesterday, the style that young man played for Maryland was a little bit tricky. Can you maybe further his point there?
Yeah, and TD, their first kid at Maryland, we won, I think, first 4 out of the first 5 faceoffs, and then they switched and went to their second kid. And from what TD says, he's a little bit unorthodox, has a different style. And the same thing happened in our first game. The TD dominated their first guy, and then the second guy came in and kind of evened things out. So, again, the face-off's a tricky situation. Kids have different styles and different techniques, and again, some work against guys and some don't. And TD battled. He went out and competed. I think 14 of 30, so we were right around the 50 mark. But the kid, TD all year got us the ball 72%, and he did his job all year. Again, he really battled yesterday, and we're proud of how he did.
Scott, I'm always impressed when a college kid can go there after a loss and sit in front of the media and answer questions. And T.D. Erlin, to me, I mean, he's one of the best interviews on your team. But have you ever had a conversation with your team about the way it carries itself after a loss and how to kind of deal with that adversity? Because I thought your kids yesterday sat there and answered every question they had to, and they've done it for as long as I've been covering this team.
Thank you. And yes, we do. I'll be honest with you, my father-in-law is a sports reporter. He was covered the University of Delaware men's football for over 30 years. So we talk a lot about how kids are supposed to, when they get in front of a camera or they get in front of, the press, how to behave. So we do talk about it quite a bit. And I thought TD did a wonderful job yesterday, as a freshman in that situation to come off a disappointing game. Nobody takes it any harder than he does. Man, the kid is a true competitor. So yes, I was very proud of how he handled himself, and he did a really nice job sitting up there as a freshman. And again, great learning experience for him, and something that he'll never forget, and I'm sure he'll take it moving forward.
Scott, what about the future now of this program? I know you lose some seniors, but you do have a bunch coming back, and I know you have a great recruit coming in. How about fast forward from here to next season?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And again, we start talking about it right away. I think if you're a competitor, you accept what happened yesterday, but then you look to the future and you start thinking about, how we're going to start building next year's season and next year's team. And, our juniors who are now seniors stepped up yesterday in the locker room, did a lot of talking, and we have a great group coming back. I mean, we really lose, 4 midfielders in Bennett Drake, Adam Osika, John Glancy, and Eli Lasda. But we've got a supporting cast underneath them and some freshmen and sophomores that'll develop and get there. And then we got a nice class coming in, and we feel like we have the best player in the country coming in Hogan Anacoke, Native American from Six Nations up in Canada. So I think we're right there. You bring back Fields, Justin Ray, Stone Sims, DeLuey, AJ, our goalie, JD. So we bring back a tremendous group with a lot of experience. Again, our now seniors have already been to 2 quarterfinals themselves, and hopefully they can get us back to that spot, and things are different next year.
How do you pronounce the name of the new kid coming in?
Hogan Anacoke, Raj.
Okay. I promise I will work on that, and hopefully we'll be ready to roll with that at the beginning of the season.
You got it. He's a great kid. He's really worked hard to put himself in a position, to get to school, and has done a wonderful job in the classroom down at IMG, and is a really dedicated kid to the sport and to having fun. And he's going to fit right in with our group, so we're looking forward to that.
Well, Scott, listen, we appreciate you joining us. You've been on every Monday with us here on Big Board Sports. We appreciate that, and I know it was a tough one yesterday, but when it's all said and done, you put together another great season.
Thanks, Roger. I appreciate it, and Chris, appreciate it. It's fun being out with you guys every week, and look forward to next year.